The Middle East has once again become the center of military activity, and this time, the United States has taken direct action. Airstrikes using the B-2 bomber have targeted the Houthis in Yemen, while A-10 Warthogs have been unleashed on Iranian-backed militias in Syria. The Syrian civil war, which had settled into a tense stalemate, has suddenly been shaken. With the U.S. now seemingly picking a side, the question arises, what does this mean for everyone involved? Is this a routine military action, or is it part of a larger strategy that could alter the power balance in the region? As tensions escalate, the impact of these attacks could go far beyond Syria, affecting alliances, conflicts, and global geopolitics in unpredictable ways. The U.S. justifies its strikes. According to the United States Central Command, the airstrikes were nothing more than a self-defense measure aimed at stopping an imminent threat to a U.S.-led coalition base known as MSS Euphrates in Syria. This base has been a hotspot for conflict, regularly trading fire with ISIS and Iranian-backed militias. The official narrative states that the attack was a response to an impending assault meant to neutralize enemy positions before they could launch their attack. However, skepticism is growing. Reports and video evidence suggest that the strikes were not just limited to defensive measures, but were also tactically beneficial to certain groups operating in Syria. Footage circulating on social media platforms like X and Telegram appears to show an A-10 Warthog targeting a convoy near Deir ez-Zor, taking out militant bunkers, armored vehicles, and technicals. Reports indicate that nearly 50 militants were neutralized. This has led many to question whether the U.S. is truly acting in self-defense or if it is actively shaping the battlefield to benefit particular factions. One theory gaining traction is that the strikes were indirectly aiding an anti-Iranian militia known as Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS. Just weeks prior, on November 28th, HTS achieved a shocking victory, capturing Aleppo and several key locations in Syria in just 72 hours, something that other groups had failed to do for years. The timing of the U.S. airstrikes has fueled speculation that Washington is using the pretext of self-defense to weaken Iran-backed forces and tip the balance in favor of groups that align more with U.S. strategic goals. The A-10 Warthog. One of the most interesting aspects of this military operation was the use of the A-10 Thunderbolt II, more commonly known as the Warthog. This aircraft, designed in the 1970s, is infamous for its ability to destroy armored convoys with surgical precision. Armed with a powerful 30mm GAU-8 Avenger rotary cannon, it can shred enemy vehicles in seconds. Despite its age, the A-10 remains a fearsome weapon in close air support missions, making it an ideal choice for attacking entrenched militias in Syria's rugged terrain. The Warthog's use in this conflict suggests that the U.S. military saw a need for a highly precise, low-altitude attack platform capable of devastating enemy positions while minimizing collateral damage. Unlike high-speed jets that operate at greater altitudes, the A-10 flies low and slow, allowing pilots to visually confirm their targets before striking. This makes it particularly effective in conflicts like Syria, where insurgents operate in complex urban and desert environments. Despite its effectiveness, the A-10 has been scheduled for retirement, with plans to replace it with the F-35 Lightning II. However, its reappearance in Syria raises questions about whether the U.S. military is reconsidering its value in modern warfare. Could this be a sign that the Warthog still has a vital role to play in U.S. military strategy? The Syrian conflict. For years, Syria has been a battleground for multiple factions, each backed by different foreign powers. The recent developments suggest that the war is no longer just a local struggle, but a larger geopolitical chess match involving the U.S., Russia, Iran, Turkey, and Israel. With only 900 U.S. troops officially stationed in Syria, their role has primarily been to support the Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, a Kurdish-led group that has been engaged in a long struggle against ISIS and Iranian-backed militias. While these U.S. forces are too few to directly change the course of the war, their presence ensures that the SDF has access to air support, intelligence, and advanced weaponry. The recent airstrikes suggest that Washington is committed to maintaining its influence in Syria, even as other powers try to reshape the region to their advantage. Meanwhile, Israel has also stepped up its involvement. On December 8, 2024, Israeli forces launched a cross-border incursion into Syria, aiming to secure a buffer zone to protect against threats from Hezbollah and other Iranian-backed militias. This move, coupled with the U.S. airstrikes, signals a coordinated effort to curb Iranian influence in Syria. Iran, already overstretched by its support for militias across the Middle East, may struggle to maintain its foothold in the country. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, who once seemed poised to reclaim full control of his country with the help of Russia and Iran, now finds himself in a precarious position. The capture of Aleppo by HTS has weakened his grip on power, and reports suggest that he has fled to Moscow to seek support. This development has put Russia in a difficult position. Moscow has been one of Assad's strongest backers, but with its military deeply engaged in Ukraine, its ability to intervene in Syria is limited. Videos and reports indicate that Russian troops have already begun withdrawing from key positions in Syria, leaving Assad's regime vulnerable. If Russian forces continue to retreat, it could create a power vacuum that other groups, including US-backed forces, will rush to fill. What's next? The battle for control continues. With Assad's grip on power weakening and Russia pulling back its support, Syria's future hangs in the balance. The key question now is, who will take control? Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, has emerged as a dominant force, but its extremist ideology makes it a controversial player in the region. While some of its recent actions have indirectly benefited the US and its allies, Western powers are unlikely to support an HTS-led Syria. Turkey, which backs the Syrian National Army, SNA, is another key player in this struggle. Turkish forces and their allies have already launched a major offensive against the Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, adding another layer of complexity to the conflict. If Turkey decides to cooperate with HTS in its fight against the SDF and other groups, the balance of power in northern Syria could shift dramatically. Meanwhile, Iran's influence in Syria is also at risk. For years, Iran has used Syria as a strategic base to expand its power, but it now faces serious challenges. With Hezbollah engaged in a separate conflict with Israel and Russia stepping back, Iran may struggle to maintain its presence. If Tehran is forced to scale down its operations, its regional ambitions could take a significant hit. One thing is certain, the US is not leaving Syria anytime soon. While Washington frames its military presence as a defensive measure, it is clear that America is actively shaping the battlefield to serve its strategic interests. By weakening Iranian-backed militias and reinforcing the SDF, the US is making sure it remains a key player in Syria's future. For ordinary Syrians, the war has already taken a devastating toll, and the path to peace remains distant. Years of destruction have left the country in ruins, and despite the shifting power dynamics, true stability still seems out of reach. As foreign powers continue their strategic maneuvers, the people of Syria are left to endure the consequences of a war that seems to have no end. One thing is clear, this US attack is just the beginning. The next moves in this conflict could reshape not just Syria, but the entire Middle East, setting the stage for yet another chapter in a war that refuses to fade. What do you think? Will these airstrikes change the course of the war? Or are they just another moment in an endless conflict? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you really enjoyed watching the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Thanks for watching.